This is The Franchise. As always, it's Nevin Brown, and I'm joined by...
Raphael Stone.
Ooh. James Raphael Stone Piercy. Stone. Based off of James' nickname this episode, you might have guessed, we're doing the most original thing in niche NBA podcasting history. We're doing a trade deadline role play. James will be playing the role of Raphael Stone. I'm pulling an Eddie Murphy. I'm playing all the clumps, and by clumps I mean all the other NBA GMs. So before we just get into this, I want to say last night, incredible game between the Rockets and the Memphis Grizzlies. I have two notes for that game. Absurd. The shot making throughout that game by both teams without their offensive engines.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was one of those things where, like, I know people are gonna be like, oh, like, maybe we're better without this guy. Maybe they're better without that guy. They were just hitting shots that were tough. Like, the amount of tough layups both teams hit was pretty impressive. And the game straight up was decided at the end of the third quarter when Jake LaRavia threw up that fucking prayer and banked into the three. Yeah. I mean, the Rockets win that game if that doesn't go in. And then the other thing is at the very end, about 32 seconds left, Rockets up one. They get Eason under the basket, and it's like him and like one guy kind of defending him on his heels. And he could have went up for the shot, and then he just decides, because it's not wide open, let me kick this out and let's burn some clock. I thought that was the absolutely wrong, 100% wrong decision. If you're up three, burning clock is fine. You're up one, and you burning the clock doesn't end the game. Yeah, like you want the points are more.
You're up three, so you can burn some clock.
Yeah.
Like, two comments, if I may, before we get going. I think that Eason is really making a more concerted effort to pass lately, which I do appreciate. Like, his passing has improved, and so I think that's part of probably what motivated that decision. It was the wrong decision in this case, but I'll give him some grace for that reason. Yeah. Also,
I'm not trying to kill him here. I just thought that, like,
but it was the wrong decision.
I feel like teams do this way too much, where they're like, let's burn clock, and I'm like, if you have points, like, scoring points burns clock functionally, because it means the other team has to spend more time trying to get those points.
Yeah, it's like time is money, but money is money more so than time. You know,
yes,
is how I would put it. Second thing I just want to quickly say is that, man, Jaren Jackson Jr. has really put some polish on his game. I felt like he got in foul trouble, which has plagued him his whole career. That's unfortunate. But I just find that he's got maybe more moves on the block, or like his handle is tightened or something. I don't know. He just looks like a more fluid offensive player to my eye than he used to be.
Yeah, he last season he struggled a bit because it was the first year where he was like the go-to option, and like Bane and Morant were out for big stretches, and he got a ton of those reps, and he really improved. His ability to drive the ball at his size from the perimeter, it's not Giannis level, obviously, but it's really good. I mean, like, he did like a fake dribble handoff crossover that left Amen Thompson in the dust. So, you know, he's got some moves. I will say, I noted this. I don't like how he uses his off arm as a fucking riot shield the entire time. I like, that's something that a lot of guys do, and referees in the NBA really allow. I hate it.
Penguin does it a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, look, I hate it, not because like I care that they're allowed to do it. It's that I hate how often offensive players will fucking do that, and then the defender gets called for a foul. I'm like, look, like, we can't have it both ways, where the guy's like putting his arm out, like fucking shoving a dude, and then the dude that gets shoved, yeah, you committed a foul. You were in his space. It's like. If we're
not
like,
a shoving space.
Yeah, it's like let the physicality cut both ways. But that game was a lot of fun, and I was hoping the Rockets would pull it out, because I felt like, I mean, they didn't need that game. Like, Memphis absolutely 100% needed that game.
Yeah,
but
you know what, man? It was one of those losses too, where like I didn't even go to bed feeling disappointed or anything. I just was like, wow, sick game. It's later than I like staying up, but I'm glad I did, because it was a really fun game. And like you said, it wasn't all that important for Houston.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It really would have helped it would have really helped solidify their chances at the 2 seed. But can't
win them all.
Yeah. Also, like apparently John Morant doesn't play basketball anymore. Yeah. So we'll see how Memphis does down the stretch. Okay, let's get into this role playing. Not Dungeons and Dragons. What would be Dungeons and Dragons? Can I quickly? It's like draft
Clock's
picks and draft picks and what's another D term in basketball?
You think of deals, but that's just not good enough.
Draft picks and deals. Yes, that's the role playing game we're playing.
Okay.
All right. So James, you're gonna be Raphael Stone. I'm gonna be some other GMs, and to kick this off, we're gonna have some fun because neither of us would do this deal if we were Raphael Stone, I believe. But let me do my limited fake vocal sound effects as if
now. I'm not doing like a Raphael Stone voice or anything. I'm not much of an impressionist, but if you've got stuff like that, then
I might do it at the beginning just for the Riz. My limited sound effects. I'm no Bismarcky.
Nobody beats the Biz, man. So
I mean, yeah. R.I.P. Hey, Raphael. This is Monte McNair of the Sacramento Kings. I hear you guys might be interested in De'Aaron Fox. And normally we would wait on your call, but the Spurs have kind of been dicking us around with their offers, and we feel like you could match it or even exceed it, and that would be great. So you think you might want to throw in a little deal for De'Aaron Fox? We're thinking a few first-round picks, some matching salary, and one of your good young players. How's that sound to you?
Doesn't sound very appealing to me, and not particularly interested in De'Aaron Fox. Really inclined to just see how this young core finishes out the rest of the season. I have worries about Fox's long-term financial situation. I feel like it's likely to be a bit of an albatross contract, 2 or 3 years. I'm not really looking to have the next Zach LaVine / Brandon Ingram on my roster. It's too bad for you guys that you built around him, but we're probably going to avoid doing the same.
Okay, so here's the thing. We might not even need that many draft picks. If you can send us one of these good young players that you don't feel like you can pay in the future. Or maybe you want to get off Fred VanVleet's deal. Here's the thing, bud. Look, Fred VanVleet. There's no way you can tell me he's better than De'Aaron Fox. I don't care what anyone says about screen navigation. How about some buckets? VanVleet couldn't fucking hit a 3-pointer if his life depended on it this season. Shooting worse from 3 than De'Aaron Fox. And he makes more money.
I don't think so.
I don't want to have to.
Not as of yesterday.
Well, anyways, look, I think De'Aaron Fox is a big upgrade on Fred VanVleet. We'd be kind of interested in VanVleet because he's a real solid NBA point guard and could help us now. Save you some money this season and next. Fox makes less money than him. So how about we start trying to work a deal built around that? Would you be interested?
Still not feeling all that interested because it doesn't alleviate my concerns about his long-term financial outlook, right? I'm just not looking to pay Fox in 3 seasons when he's on a 50, 55, maybe 60 million deal.
I'm getting there's an incoming call. Hello? This is Vivek Ranadavi. We want Amen Thompson. Right now.
No deal.
Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Reed Shepherd. He's the next Steph Curry. He's the white Steph Curry. We want him, and you get De'Aaron Fox. How does that sound?
Sounds bad. Sounds pretty bad. Best
I
can do for you.
You see, Raphael, I coached my daughter's basketball team when she was in middle school, and we won all of our games because I know strategy. This strategy for you is amazing. I'm telling you. De'Aaron Fox will make you a championship team. What are you doing now? Losing to the Grizzlies because Jake LaRavia. Pitiful.
Yeah, I honestly I can't even conceive of a deal that I would be able to suggest where I've just decided absolutely and unequivocally that I'm out on De'Aaron
Okay,
Fox.
we will take Şengün.
Get out of here.
We are bringing Twin Towers back. Şengün, Sabonis in the post. Şengün for De'Aaron Fox. I do not care about Poison Pill.
Stop it.
Okay. All right, yeah, no. I just wanted to interrupt with Vivek Ranadave giving
That was the plan the whole time.
the worst trade offer ever. I mean, the man, when he got Buddy Hield from the Pelicans, he's like, he is the next Steph Curry.
Bad.
I mean, you know, he can shoot baskets. Okay. Do you have Raphael Stone? Do you have any outgoing trades that you'd like, or do you want me to continue blowing up your phone because teams know you have stuff and they want to get off players?
Yeah, keep blowing up my phone, and I'll save my proposal for last because it breaks with the format. You know what I mean?
Hey, Raphael, it's Michael Winger. I assume he sounds like this because Winger is a cool name, right, bud? Hey, we're the Wizards. We've won 6 games, so we're killing it this season. Like, you know how this game goes. You tank, you lose, you trade good teams. You have a good team. The veteran players that you randomly either have through weird trades or you signed in free agency. So we have Malcolm Brogdon on an expiring contract. He's not making a crazy amount of money. He'd be an awesome backup point guard, especially when you get into the playoffs. He's got more juice than Aaron Holiday. Ime Udoka will trust him more than Reed Shepherd. And if anything were to happen to Fred VanVleet, forbid, you need a guy who can step in and run the show and keep this offense ticking. I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm thinking one protected first round pick, highly protected first round pick. You send us, the matching salary you need to send back. It's $22.5 million. I think you would have no issues sending us Jeff Green, Jashawn Tate, Jock Landale. That would get right there, save you a little money. And we get a first round pick for Malcolm Brogdon. That's what we get to tell our fans, but it probably won't be anything better than the 22nd overall pick. What do you think about that?
All right, Mr. Winger. So I will concede some interest in Brogdon. I think we could probably at least have a discussion here, right? I believe that Brogdon is seen by some as a buyout candidate this year. I don't believe that you're going to get any first round compensation on the open market at all, regardless of protections. I can offer you expiring money and 3 second round picks, and that is the offer that I'm willing to make.
You see, Brogdon, he went to UVA. He likes it here. We have no problem taking this to free agency, re-sign him on a smaller AAV deal for a longer period of time, give him what he wants, and then trading him. So 3 second round picks is pretty rich when you're the Washington Wizards. But I don't know if we really need the first round pick to convince the fan base that this hasn't been a complete and utter disaster this year, which it has. But I have a few other guys that you might be interested in if you're not willing to give up a first round pick for Malcolm Brogdon, because we're really trying to get first round picks, right? One day we might need them. God forbid, who knows why. What about Jonas Valanciunas? Valanciunas, I know what you're thinking. Why do we need him? Well, here's the thing. He's making $9.9 million this season, then $10.3, and then a non-guaranteed $10 million. that's cost controlled. He's an offensive rebounding machine. Yeah, he's not the best defender, but he's a backup. And Steven Adams, his contract is out after this season. Jock Landale, that's not a great third big. If your third big is Valanciunas or Steven Adams this year, no one's going to see that in the playoffs. You'll have the biggest, strongest, meanest trio of centers in NBA history.
I don't think we need a trio of centers, man. I'm not interested in Valanciunas. I like what we're getting.
But you'll have a duo of them next season, right? It's like, it's pre-agency. You get the guy to help this season, and then you have the guy in case you can't get a center that you like in the offseason. And that contract is easily tradable. Once again, we're not asking for a good first-round pick. We're asking for something that has first-round pick in the title so our fans don't get upset.
Yeah, I am definitely not interested in Valanciunas, really, period. I don't think he's a very good defender, and that's a skill set that I covet at that position, given that Şengün, although much improved, has some limitations in that area. I'm not looking to back him up with another offensive-minded big. I think Adams is a little tougher on that end of the floor, albeit imperfect. And I'm content to just roll with the rotation we have on that front. I'd rather re-explore Brogdon discussions than continue forth with the Jonas Valanciunas talks.
All right, I saved a good one. What about 3 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma?
We'll pass. We'll politely, respectfully
What about
pass.
anything for Kyle Kuzma?
Pass.
Can you just take Kyle Kuzma from our team? We just don't.
How about you attach your pick? A heavily protected first-round pick.
His contract is descending. Think about that.
Kuzma and a heavily protected first for Landale, Green, and Tate. What do you think?
We can't be sending out picks when you have 6 wins in January.
Understandable.
All right, I saved the best for last. Have you ever heard of Corey Kispert?
I have.
Now, Kispert is a good player.
Mm-hmm.
He has got a little bit of a poison pill provision, but because our extension, he's going to be making $13.9 million the next 2 seasons, and then $13 million the 2 seasons after that, with a team option in 2028-29. Kispert, fantastic shooter. Something I hear you don't have many of, right? He hasn't played as many minutes right now for us because we're actually trying to lose games. His 3-point shooting's been down a bit this year, but the track record. You know how good of a shooter this guy is. Not a good defender. I'm not going to make shit up, but he competes, and with those guys around him, he'll look a lot better. Okay? So obviously the incoming salary is going to be about $13 million, and the outgoing for us is going to be about $5 million. But we're rebuilding. We can work some other deals, maybe get a third team in here to take someone. If you're able to compensate us for a guy who fits your timeline, is young and cost controlled, I think we could get a deal over the finish line, even if it requires a third team.
I might do a lottery protected first for Corey Kispert.
Okay, now we're cooking. Okay,
maybe. How old is he? You're his GM, so you need.
Look, Kispert, he's 25. He's got a contract that runs through his 26, 7, 8, 9 season. Those are all his prime years, right? You don't need to worry about any of that. And once again, $13 million team option in 2028-29. I know you like flexibility, Raphael Stone. I know Stone's seem inflexible, but I know you're a different type of breed, okay? So because I'm an NBA GM, I'm going to fire up Fanspo, because that's how we do this when we do our trades, because we don't have any software engineers that can do any of that stuff. So look, I'm just going to add team 1 right in here. I like this. We're cooking. We're cooking with gas. All right. So who do you think would be the matching salary that you would want to send back to us for Corey Kispert in this potential trade?
I'm guessing that Landale and Green works, right?
Jalen Green? Oh, we'd love Jalen Green.
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, Jeff Green. He is a Rockets legend. a DC legend. Let's see, Landale. Let's send him to the Wizards. Let's see what we need to do to get this trade accepted by Fanspo. This works. We'll take Jeff Green, Jock Landale. Now, we'll have to make some additional moves. And depending on the draft pick compensation, that will solve this deal. So what draft pick compensation are you willing to throw us?
Yeah, I'll give you this year's Suns pick with lottery protection.
Ooh. With lottery protection?
Look, let me put it to you this way, right? Corey Kispert has played like a back-end lottery pick so far, probably. Like, you're not upset to land this player with the 13th, 14th overall pick, right?
We do think his deal is good enough that we could get a little bit more. I'm not asking for a lot more, but a little bit more. How about this?
What are you thinking?
How about this? How about we get in on your pick may go to Oklahoma City or it may not. How about we get that pick if you guys keep it, because it means your record's been very good, but let's say the Clippers somehow sneak up on you and OKC gets it, then we get nothing. That's it. It's just this year's pick.
Rather have the Suns
and in 2026 next year, you have the two most favorable of LAC. Oh, God, these fucking breaking character.
I know it's fun. It's insane.
The real GM stuff is 1 through 4 owned, 2 most/more favorable of Houston, 5 through 30 LAC and OKC to OKC, then other to Philly. Oh my God. Owner swap.
That's like you're glitching. You're like OKC to OKC, OKC, OKC.
Dude, it's and how about we just get in on one of your swaps, but we get the least favorable of them sometime down the line?
I think we're overcomplicating it, man. It's a lottery protected first. You know, it's Corey Kispert we're talking about here. He's
okay.
He can't defend. He doesn't have any on ball creation. He's a shooting specialist.
Fine, we'll do it. Deal's done. We'll call it into the league office. Deal.
Boom.
We Bradley dealed it. Okay. Well, the Rockets just got Corey Kispert, which honestly, like, you know, I don't know if the Wizards would want to sell a lottery protected first for him right now.
Yeah,
but
hey, maybe it's a pretty feasible deal, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I would do that if I was the Wizards, because it's like he's, you know, like by the time any of these young players are actually good, Kispert's going to be almost 30. And
yeah,
like that deal.
And on the Rockets end, I'm like, we desperately need a shooter. You're right that he's going to regress to the mean to some extent. He's only 25. What are the odds that anyone we're going to pick is going to be as good as him? Like not zero, but I like betting on him relative to the field there. You know.
Yeah, and also his contract is good because like 13 million in 4 seasons, and that team option is also great. Where if like he does just suck, like you can get out of that. Pretty easily, or if you just need the money for something else. So, okay. Next trade. Partner. Maybe no, deal or no deal. Who knows? Hey, Raphael, it's Trader Danny over here up in the Great Salt Lake City. This is the Utah Jazz. I don't know if you know your geography well. The Salt Lake City isn't in the team name, so I figured you might not know that. Trader Danny Ainge here. We have a few veterans that we think you might be interested in, and we're hoping you could up your championship odds by making a deal with us. Unfortunately, we can't trade Lauri Markkanen, which he would be good, but whoopsies. We extended him exactly a day where he couldn't be traded, so sorry about that. But we have 3 players that we think you could be interested in. Colin Sexton, good offensive point guard, could really help solidify the rotation. Experience coming off the bench. Perhaps you think he's better than Van Vliet. So next season you can, figure out something there, let Van Vliet go, save a bunch of money. We also have Jordan Clarkson, a cheaper, more veteran option, tons of experience coming off the bench, has actually hit a three-pointer before in his career, which some of your players, I don't know if they have. And then we have Sviv Mikhalevich. It's a tough one. He's Ukrainian, but he's a 6'7" wing, and he's a career 36% 3-point shooter. We think he'd be a good addition to your rotation, just in case, Dylan Brooks decides to get ejected from a basketball game. It would be nice to have someone that could pretend to play defense and maybe hit a few threes. So what are you thinking? If any of those guys perk any interest for you?
Man, that guy's got to have the name I'm least confident pronouncing in the entire NBA. Honestly, I've just got no idea. I think it's Svi. Anyway, I suspect that Sexton is going to have more value to you than I'm willing to surrender, even though I think he's a really nice player. I doubt we'll find a common ground there. I'm not interested at all in Jordan Clarkson, even remotely. I could go for Svedal if the price was right. So what are you thinking on him? I think a second round pick or two ought to do it.
So here's the thing. He is 27, but he's under contract for 3 more seasons at all under $4 million pretty much. And the 2027-28 year, it's $4.025 million. And, it's a team option. And the other 2 years are non-guaranteed. So we're thinking that his value as a contract is pretty good. It's hard to find 3-and-D wings. And at that price, that's like what you get when you draft a guy. But he can actually play in the NBA. And that's when you're drafting a guy in the late lottery to back end of the first round. And those are shots in the dark. It may take him a few years to figure it out. So we're thinking he's got a little bit of value. Maybe not a first round pick unless it's a really bad one, but a first round pick that's probably going to be 28th is, that's a second round pick in my opinion, but I can tell my fans that we got a first round pick and we're all happy. Plus, we have a little bit of wiggle room with salary. Maybe we can take some money off your books and you get yourself a good player on a good deal.
We don't really have any bad money, to be completely honest, unless you want to count Dylan Brooks, which I don't personally. We're happy to continue paying Dylan Brooks. I think we're pretty far off each other's valuations of Svi's ability and value. The contract is good. I'll give you that. I think 3-and-D might be a generous way to describe him, given the career shooting is pretty inconsistent and the defense is I don't think very good. So I would set my price pretty firmly at 2 second round picks and Green, Jeff Green. But that's about what I'm willing to move.
How about this? Jock Landale's got 2 more seasons after this, $8 million. We take Landale. And
those are non-guaranteed years.
Well, looking at basketball,
just to think Raphael Stone knows his own contracts, right?
Looking at Basketball Reference, Landale's got a team option for 26-27, but next season isn't italicized. So I don't believe you. I think you're fucking lying to me. You can't do this. Okay. 2 second round picks. Which second round picks are you sending us? Because you have a bunch of them that are going all over the place. Would you be interested in sending us your 2031 second round pick?
Yeah, sure. I don't care which ones they are. I kind of share Raphael Stone's. I guess I am Raphael Stone, but in terms of his seeming indifference to second round picks, I'm like, fire him out, man. Whichever ones you want.
I'm looking at Real GM future draft picks, and what the fuck is going on? What the like just breaking character for a sec. Not that the character is particularly good. OKC
I liked it.
2026 to OKC if Houston 1-4 in 2026. So, oh, y'all still owe a pick to fucking OKC?
Yeah.
Dude, Russell Westbrook, the gift that keeps
Yeah, I
giving.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
so if Rockets fans, if you get the 1-4, OKC gets your 2026 second. And then you get the second most favorable of OKC, Dallas, and Philadelphia via OKC. Then the less favorable of the Clippers and most favorable of Boston, Indiana, and Miami. Could we get one of those that isn't fucking the worst one? Like the best of your 2026 second round picks.
You got a deal.
Okay, we'll fire it in. Now, are you sure you don't have any interest in a first round pick for Colin Sexton? He's under contract next season at, if we're going to be honest, a pretty fair bargain, right? He's a good player and he'll be making $19 million next season. That'll be an expiring deal. He's only 26. He'll give you some cover if you have any injuries. Yeah, we think, he could help you out this year, especially, and next year.
Look, Sexton's a really good player. I think your valuation of him is spot on. He's worth a first round pick. I like him. But I like what we have going. I'm not really looking to make major deals in any direction. I'd rather keep the powder dry in case we do feel like it's time to go after like a superstar within the next 2 or 3 years. So I'm not looking to give up first round picks to make marginal upgrades. I want to keep those assets.
Okay. What about Reed Shepherd and Jeff Green for Colin Sexton?
No, because we haven't even seen what Reed Shepherd is necessarily. That feels like a deal that has
now you won't, and now you won't have to. And now you won't have to. We
no, but we want to.
Well, here's the thing. I don't believe that because I haven't seen him play in 3 months. Look, you need to get your head out of your butt and think about this. Call me back when you see the light. Okay, I have one more limited impression. Hey, mate, it's Sean Marks. I'm Australian.
Whenever you do an impression of Australian, you have to say, I'm Australian. I don't know why, but...
So everyone knows you're not British. Because or from New Zealand or something like that. Anyways, I think a dingo could provide you with some spot-on veterans. So, have you heard of Cam Johnson? He's a long-range sniper, plays the power forward position, has a good, nice, long contract at not too big of a number. And we have a man named D'Angelo Russell. He's an expiring deal. Hey, I'm seeing shaking your head because I have eyes in the back of my cell phone, and I can see through this telephone call because we're not on Zoom. Why would we do that? That'd be fucking weird. Anyways, D'Angelo Russell, he can shoot the basketball. And on top of that, here's the extra key. He can make plays. Your best passer, Fred VanVleet, he doesn't make any fucking plays. He just dribbles the ball and passes it to Şengün, who then gets a bucket. So we think he could provide value as a 6-man, potentially a spot starter. Like I said, he's a good player. And all we'd want for D'Angelo Russell is just a highly protected, lightly protected, maybe unprotected first round pick. He's a good ball player. But I get the sense that you might be a little bit more interested in Cam Johnson because this man's having a great season. How many guys do you know on the Rockets that are shooting actually well from 3-point range? Because this man's shooting 41.9%. That's almost 42 on 7.6 attempts a game. I'm just saying you don't have that. We have that. But we're willing to give it to you for a small price.
I don't want to make a trade the size of Cam Johnson, to be honest. Even though it would make sense for the Rockets from a skill set perspective. We've done pretty well without that shooting. You guys have done pretty dog shit even with that shooting, and I'd rather just maintain the status quo.
Look, we were actually winning some bowl games before we traded international superstar basketballer, FIBA World Cup winner Dennis Schroeder, who is an excellent point guard. I don't know if you of him. Here's the thing. Cam Johnson, he's only making $22.5 million this year, then $20.5 next, and then back up to $22.5. This is a good contract. And I'm telling you, do you really want to have to pay Jabari Smith Jr. 50% more than that deal, which he's going to ask for? This is a ready-made replacement for a guy that you're better without him on the court. Haven't you seen that? I don't know if you've been watching, but this Amen Thompson fellow, he's a pretty good lad. So,
pretty good dingo.
Look, if we'll take some bad salary, and if you send us Jabari Smith Jr., we'll send you Cam Johnson. He'll be cheaper than Jabari in that final year than what you'll have to pay Jabari. He's a good player. He helps you win now. And you can't pay all these guys. You know this. I know this. And that's why I'm exploiting you for it.
Maybe we can't pay all these guys in the long term, but Barry is somebody that we'd like to hang on to. We think he complements everybody else well. He's a very versatile player. Long term, prefer him to Cam Johnson, just with about 3 or 4 extra inches of height. I think he's a little more versatile, can give us that small ball 5 look that I don't really think we can rely on Cam Johnson to give us. So I'm not interested.
What if we just do some draft pick compensation and then Jeff Green, Jock Landale, Deshaun Tate to get the money right? That right there, 3 guys that aren't really playing for you, and you get the best shooter on the market, the best one, the number one. You guys can't even fucking shoot 1 iota. The only reason you're not dead last in 3-point percentage is that the Orlando Magic are somehow worse. Somehow.
Somehow, yeah. I don't think we got a deal here, Mr. Marks. I'll tell you the same thing I told Danny Ainge, who I was just on the phone with before you called. So I'm trying to keep the powder dry. I'm trying to hang on to those first round picks in case we want to trade for a star down the road. Cam Johnson, he's one of those tricky assets where it's almost like he's going to go on the market. His market value is like a star, but he's not really a shot creating star player. And I'm not looking to give up the package that it would take to get him, even though he's a really good player. I'm sure you'll find a taker for him.
You know, you say that, but not everyone has what you have. I want what you have. Would you just fine.
Begging.
Here's the thing. I'm not begging. Look, my boss is really mad at me. He made me sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and then he made me trade for James Harden, which, okay, here's the thing. What if you just give us that one swap pick back of ours? And we'll just take bad salary for him. That right there is a deal. That right there is a deal that you could. That's a deal where you're not giving up that much because it's a fucking swap. And we take some salary that you don't really need. Do you need more Jeff Green minutes this year? How many more Jock Landale step back 3-pointers do you need to see?
That was weird last night. You know, this one feels like it's like an offer I feel like I should say yes to, but I still just am like, I don't know where that pick might land. I don't know if you guys can right the ship in time to keep that swap out of the lottery. And if it ends up in the lottery, I would probably rather just have that pick over Cam Johnson. So I'm going to have to decline, even though it's a more than fair offer.
You bugger. Anyways, okay. Well, if you change your mind, you get desperate. You see, when you realize Dylan Brooks isn't going 10 of 15 every night from 3-point range, give me a call. You have a few days, February 6th, so you have about a week. Ring up my number. You can find me. I'm the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, and he sounds just like this. Bye.
You got it. You got it, Sean Marks.
Okay. Well, all right. Those are all the incoming calls. I actually do wonder how often that happens where these teams are trying to get rid of guys, call teams with stuff, and they're like, hey, Normally, buyers,
Right.
are supposed to be reaching out to the sellers. But if you know anything about quote unquote direct marketing, I love when people refer to sales as direct marketing. I'm like, really?
Right.
That isn't okay.
Yeah.
Face to face marketing.
Sounds
Okay.
like sales.
It is sales. It's just a way.
Yeah.
No one wants to do sales or meet someone or talk to someone in sales, but marketing is fancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a real.
All right. Why don't I call you?
Okay. I'm gonna have to. I'm going. I don't know who I'm gonna have to play. So
You're gonna play Pat Riley.
one sec. I gotta slick back the hair. All right, my hair is slicked back.
Ring.
Well, you're ringing me.
Yeah, ring.
Are you saying ring, or you're not going to even make a sound effect for ring?
No, I'm saying that's my sound effect. Ring.
Hello. I'm assuming it sounds like Batman.
Yeah, no, I think that's about the best you're gonna do with it.
Hello.
Hi there, Mr. Riley. It's Raphael Stone. Hoping to talk about a potential trade with you here today.
Okay. I don't know if you've heard, but I might be cooked. That's what the kids are saying.
Yes.
So,
Yep. That's why we're calling.
Let's see what's in your kitchen. What do you have?
Jock Landale. Team-friendly contract, non-guaranteed each of the next 2 years. You can just go ahead and waive him if you don't like him. Jeff Green, expiring contract, going to retire this year. Really good guy. You're going to be happy to have him around the organization, and there's some good financial savings. I'm thinking 2 second-round picks, and you send us Duncan Robinson. We'll take that money off your hands.
What about Jimmy Butler?
No, we don't want Jimmy Butler.
I think you want Jimmy Butler. I've won a lot of
We want Duncan Robinson.
I've won more championships than you have children. So who's winning? Me. Jimmy Butler is a champion. He's an Ime Udoka guy. You want to win a championship. You can win a championship. Mr. Raphael Stone, you can be a champion. You can be not like me because I have a bunch of championships, but you can be closer to me than you are right now. Jimmy Butler, what do you think? You have some young players I like. How about we think Amen Thompson, Reed Shepard, and Cam Whitmore would pair well next to Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero? What do you think?
Amen's untouchable. You might as well put the word out to your other GM friends on that issue. And but
these other GM friends of mine, they're not me. I might be cooked, but I told Jimmy Butler to suck my cock. How many other GMs can say that they did that?
Here's the deal, right? We're the second seed in the Western Conference. I'm not looking to make any seismic shifts in how we do things this year. I'm not looking to incorporate
not a champion.
Not looking to incorporate a high usage player like Butler into the mix. I really just want some shooting and some off ball gravity. And Duncan's our guy. What do you think of my Duncan Robinson offer?
Okay, so you want us to take Jock Landale? Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Jeff Green, I've heard of him because he's been looking at property at my friend's retirement village. And then you want us to take a second round pick?
2 second round picks.
2 second round picks? Look, no one is better at drafting than us. Why? Because we draft guys like me. Tough guys. Guys who know how to play ball. But Duncan Robinson, he's a heat lifer. We built him. We built him in a lab. We're thinking if we're taking bad salary, we should get a bit more than 2 second round picks for a guy who has a non-guarantee next season. That'd be great for a trade. Maybe when you nut up and try to trade for a superstar, so you can be a champion, or if you want to get rid of, save some money, or we're talking about a 39% career 3-point shooter at volume. Something no one on your team can say.
You're not taking on bad salary, first of all. Each of Landale's next 2 seasons are non-guaranteed. Jeff Green's an expiring contract. You're actually going to duck the second apron as a consequence of making this deal. So I wouldn't frame it that way.
We're trying to win. We're trying to win now. So we're going to need. You have a lot first. We do. No one drafts better than us. Late first round picks. You guys end up with Ty Washington. We end up with Dwayne Wade. It's different here in Miami. Our culture is different. We can turn chicken shit into marmalade. It's different. How about a late first?
Can't do it. How about 3 second-round picks? You guys draft so well, right? I mean, one of those picks is.
Sorry, I dozed off for a second. If you haven't heard, I might be cooked. 3 second-round picks. You got a deal.
We got a deal. We made 3 deals today.
3 deals. We did? Oh, man. Well, I mean, it's easier when you're pretending to be people to make deals.
I'd say a lot of real life deals probably, a lot of those phone calls probably end up on, I'll talk to you in a couple of days, right? Like,
I'm sure a lot of them are like, they get a framework of a deal, and then they're like, because, they're like, we've been talking to some other people about this guy, like, we need to go talk to them and see if now that they know that this is what you're offering, like, will we offer more? I think that is one. I can't believe I couldn't get you to take Cam Johnson. I thought my limited fake Australian accent was going to win the day.
I mean, it could have. It was really funny, especially when I just like a bad reference. Like Dingo didn't make any sense, and that's what I loved about it. But I don't want to make. I'm not really looking to make any big deals, man. So I got 3. I came away from this thing with 3 role players. Granted, I got to trade Landale to about 3 different teams, so that's going to be confusing. But I just want a shooter.
I feel you. I guess, but like, before we get out of here, like, that's actually something maybe we could have talked about before doing all these fake trades. What are the Rockets like? Obviously, the Rockets need shooting, but where do you think they need shooting from? Because I think the way that they're built, you can't take away from certain parts of their defense and just plug in shooting and expect things to like keep humming in the same way.
See, honestly, okay, if it's gonna be, it depends. The 2 is to me the most logical, immediate answer. To where like, we just don't have a lot of depth there. Like Jalen is really the only off guard on the roster. I think you could play Brooks there, but he really is more of a wing. Like you could play Aaron Holiday there, but he's undersized. Like it's actually the one spot on the roster, a backup off guard, but it's not really depth. So a 2 to me would be the most immediately logical. But I also,
hey, it's Trader Danny here. You say you need a backup off guard, and I'm thinking Jordan Clarkson. He's a guy that fits that description.
I need somebody that works off the ball, plays defense
work off
a little.
The ball, off the ball, on the ball. What's really the difference? There's only one ball, and Jordan Clarkson makes that ball go in the hoop.
No thanks. But let me finish that. Yeah. I also think that it could be a forward, and like I like, for example, I like Kelly Olynyk as a potential target, or a guy like Svi Mihailik or whatever. Well, just because my feeling is like plug and play ability.
He's just had some injuries this year.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no doubt. But like, honestly, I'm looking at guys that like, maybe they don't play for 3 or 4 games in a row, and then one night they get 18 minutes because like we badly need